Okay, so we talked a lot about relationships and a lot of goods, a lot of things that you can do, a lot of things you might want to do. We're going to talk about this one and the next video are going to be two totally opposites here. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is making relationships work. Okay. Guys, it's not easy. It's not a, hey, good morning, love you, have a great day. That's not how it is all the time. That's not realistic. Okay. Now, are there more good days than bad days? Oh, definitely. But there's times that, there's a little rough patch, right? So we've talked about it. You have to incorporate these things into your relationship. Okay. So you got to use communication. Communication is key to every relationship. You talk about your day, you talk about finances, you talk about, your kids, your sisters, siblings, life, jobs, everything. You talk about everything. You talk about the weather, you talk about sad times, you talk about happy times, you talk about everything. And if you can start that in the beginning, it only gets better from there. Okay. Communication is not something that we're all equally able to do. A lot of times, you know, people in relationships have a past, like their family and the other family. Some families communicate well, some families don't communicate at all. Some people talk about everything, and some people think that there's things that you just don't talk about. So you've got to find what happiness is for your relationship and make communication work on those lines. For me, I'm an open all. Like we talk about everything. Um, William wasn't really the biggest communicator when we first got together. That's not something that they regularly did in their house. Or maybe they did and he just didn't incorporate it that because that's who he is. I'm not sure. But you will see that today he is one of the best communicators. And it's because I fostered that. I wanted that in my relationship. It's something that I craved and wanted. It's something that I needed. I needed to be able to communicate every feeling. And there's still times that you know, don't talk about things that I should. And then I will open up about it once I get to the point. And he's like, you should have just told me. And I'm like, I should have, but I didn't. So there's still times that we even struggle, but we are always evolving and working and making that work. Communication gets better every day, like we literally talk about everything. Um in a relationship, you have to have a loving component, when I think of relationships and I think of forever, I think about somebody that I can, spend every day of the rest of my life knowing that that is who I want to share my everything with. I want to love them and nourish them, and I want to basically, as they say, feed my grass. I want to water my grass. I want to make it the best thing. I want that person to know that without a shadow of doubt, they are very important to me, and I will do all that I can to keep them in my life and to help their life be as best as it could be. And you have to have that compassion and that loving spirit with one another. If you start feeling that you're detaching, it's not going to be easy and it's hard to recover from. So just make sure you're doing what you need to do to share the love with one another. Keep that love alive in the relationship. um with that also being said, you have to have the desire to be together. I see some relationships that thrive on never being together. That's not most people. Most people in relationships really want that togetherness. They want to be happy with each other. Now there's times like in my situation, I'm not able to share every day with him, but I will share every day in a video call with him. And is it the 100% the same? No, but it's still us and our desire to be together. And that gives us a little bit closer to being together than if we didn't have that at all. If you can't think about spending forever or being together with somebody, you don't want to be around them, you don't have the desire to be around them, you might want to reconsider that relationship. Okay. Um, Understanding that some days you're going to pull more weight for the relationship than the other does. It will all equal out in the end run, and you will never think about, well, I did this and you did this and you did this and I did this. That will never happen. Okay. Because it's equally embraced from the two people. um Understand that as things happen in life, you have to be able to give it your all that you can do. You've got to give all of you to invest in all of them so they can give you all of them to you. It's got to be a shared thing. Okay. With that being said, you also have to understand that, what started out 18, 21, 25, 30 years ago, that's going to change in stages of life. Things that you do in life are going to change. Things that, let's be honest, mentally, physically, emotionally, we all change, we all grow, we all do things with age. Okay. Sexually, all of it, it all can change. Okay. And it's okay. It's okay. You just have to be able to talk about it and be able to share where you're at and what the other needs and what your needs are, and just keep doing that. Keep in check with each other. That's part of the desire to be together, the communication. Share everything. Okay. There's times in life where, maybe 10 years ago you were the height of your life and you were having sex like crazy all the time every day. 10 years later, you're now 60 years old and you don't have that same gumption, maybe. Or maybe you do, and maybe it's worse. I don't know. Maybe you have more. But if the other person isn't matching you, instead of feeling that it's you or going out and doing something else, or, letting yourself get beaten down because maybe you're not the same, talk to each other. Let that be an issue or a conversation or a situation that you guys can resolve within, you know? Because I've seen a lot of relationships really just fizzle out because change and growth, and they weren't there anymore together. And they didn't share the same feelings. They didn't even really know each other at that point. And part of that is that it ends up in an ugly relationship or ugly divorce because they never communicated things along the way. At each phase of life, we our needs are com- completely changed. Um, and it's okay. It's okay that that happens. But we have to be able to communicate and talk about it. And we have to be able to be open about our feelings and our wants and our needs and our desires and what we want and our goals. That communication can never stop. Those talks can never stop. You have to really invest yourself into this. I've seen people that have been completely changed, and kind of like me and my ex, we totally went our ways, and that's fine. I'm happy where I'm at, and they're happy where they're at, and life is good. It didn't have to end the way that it did, though. It didn't have to end in hurt and pain. It didn't have to end in a negative response. It could have been discussed and talked about, and we could have separated in a whole different situation and still been, if not been, healthier in that time than we were in that time. Um, because people do grow and people do change, right? The goal is to have somebody that you can grow with and change with. And sometimes that just doesn't happen, and that's okay. That's okay. Um, you guys, I cannot express enough. You have to enjoy your life together. You have to enjoy the life that you create and build. You have to enjoy the life that you guys are wanting and living in, and be in the moment and be present. That has to be enjoyable. We don't do things in life very long that aren't enjoyable, you know? So make it enjoyable. Enjoy life together. William and I are very blessed in the fact that, we don't have any kids at home. It's just me and him. My mom's very self dependent on, she does her own thing. And we don't have a lot of hold downs here. Like, we don't have anybody at the house that we have to come home to and take care of. We have our fish. That's about it. Our fish. But we don't let life hold us down either. For a long time, we didn't do a lot. We didn't travel. We didn't go anywhere. We didn't do anything. And we always had wants, or we had wanted to do this. I want to do that. I want to, but we never did it. And so, with that being said, we started doing that, and life is just only expanded from there. We enjoy each other. We enjoy our love and our relationship, and we enjoy time together. And whether it's jumping on a flight and flying somewhere, or whether it's driving down the road, or whether it's sitting at home, or whether we're sitting outside, we make the most of every moment that we can, because there's nothing that I want more than to be with him and spend time with him and to enjoy his presence, his company, and to be just completely enjoying life with him. We do, that's kind of funny. When he was home last time, we do things together. Like, he was weed eating out front and doing all the things up in our yard, and I was down in the field mowing. And even though we weren't together, we enjoyed that, because at the end of the day, when we were done, we came in, we showered, and we got to do what we wanted to do and just enjoy it. We've always had that about us. We enjoy what we're doing. And if we're not enjoying it, I'll be like, this isn't it. Or he'll be like, no, and this isn't it. I'm tired of this. Or we talk about it. We've really just invested ourselves into our relationship. And I feel like this is the healthiest relationship I've ever been in. Now, there's a few things that help with that: experience, age, learning myself, being able to be myself, um, going through some things that molded me to who I am today, him going through things that molded him to who he is today. But the biggest thing is that we've always been willing to talk about what we need, what we want, how to make our relationship work. We've always been able to struggle together. We've always been able to be happy together. We've always been able to do what we needed together, but on our own if need be, to make our relationship stronger. There's something beautiful about two people that can come together and just be each other's best friends and support. And there's something beautiful about the fact that you can find a person that you can just share everything with and not have any worries or concerns about that. That's a beautiful thing. And I remember, when I was little, I remember watching my grandparents, and they were the epitome of all the best love ever. Um, they were just great people, and my grandfather loved my grandmother very much, and he did things for my grandmother that he wouldn't do for anybody else. And the same, she put up with some shit, and he, she helped produce some shit with him. I mean, they just had this wonderful capacity within their relationship. And then I seen my mom kind of struggle with that in life. She had some bumpy road. She had a little bit of a bumpy road. But with that being said, her relationship with my dad was beautiful, and he adored my mother. Like, he adored my mother. And I'm not saying that he spoiled her with things. He spoiled her with a love that only he could ever provide her. And she, in turn, accepted that love and gave the same amount of love and energy back to him. And when she walked in the room, he would smile. And when he was in, she just felt secure within who she was. And that, my friend, is beautiful. And if you stop and think about it, you probably know somebody in your life that has that relationship. And maybe things in their relationship aren't as you would do, but whatever they're doing it together, and they're making it work, and it's healthy, and it's happy, and it's wonderful. And if you think about it in that aspect, why wouldn't you want that? And why wouldn't you want to do what you need to do to figure that out and make what you have that? Make what you have that. I've had a lot of people tell me, you and William are so cute together. You guys are great together. I'm so glad that we are cute together, and I'm so glad that we are great together. But it doesn't come from sitting back and doing nothing in this relationship. There's been a lot of trials, there's been a lot of tribulations, there's been things that he's worked on, there's been things that I've worked on, there's been things that we've had to work on together as a couple. There's compromises, there's things that we don't compromise about. There's us being who we are and being beautiful individuals and bringing that to the table. Okay. We bring the beautiful person that we are individually, and we are able to create what we have today. I am probably not the easiest person to live with nor be in a relationship with. I'm going to be honest. I'm probably not. And you know why? It's because I talk about everything. I have the biggest feelings. I am the most compassionate about with everything that I do. And I don't know if you and your spouse or your significant other have ever had to have this conversation. We literally had to set each other down a while back and be like, stop doing everything for everybody. Stop. Stop. Just stop. Because we literally will give the shirts off of our back to anybody that needs it. Anybody. Okay. But when we started noticing it was draining who we were individually to do that for everybody else, we had to step up for each other and be like, we got to stop. We got to stop draining our souls for everybody that's not helping themselves. And since we did that, it's been a beautiful bliss. And we now give that energy that we were giving others to each other. And I mean, this was a while back, y'all. This is a while back. I'm not talking anytime recent. And I think that's what made us come together for each other more than anything. You know, we are such compassionate, loving, caring, enjoyable people. And we were giving to everybody else, but we were not giving to ourselves nor our relationship. And once we started doing that, things just started improving from there. I don't know. You would probably not believe this, but as a therapist, I think I've had a lot of struggles that I've had to work through. And I think that he has been very generous with giving me time and making me feel safe and allowing me that space and capacity to grow as who I am emotionally, individually for myself. And that's been enormous for me. And in the same token, I can tell you that I have seen him blossom into this amazing man, you know? And I think that when you can sit back and you can think about what you guys have been together as a whole, together, separate, now, then, what you overcame, and what you have jumped through, the hurdles, the trials, the tribulations, when you think about all of that, and at the end of the day, you can sit down and be like, I love you, and I'm glad I'm with you, and I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. And it doesn't have to be your first love. It doesn't have to be your first marriage. It doesn't have to be your second marriage. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Find that kind of love. Find that relationship to foster into. Find those people that you want to invest your time in. Find that sort of relationship. Okay. And just work at it. You can't just be like, oh, we're married. It's good. Ha! Da, da, da. No, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. You have to feed your relationship every day. Every day you have to show up. Okay. Maybe you're not showing up and running a marathon. Maybe you're just showing up, but you got to show up to that relationship. Okay. And you have to be aware and open to share and communicate and just live life as it is. You know, you have to be able to do that. So, with that being said, this was probably the easiest part of this, this whole conversation. We talked about everything easy up to this point. The next video, stick around for that. It's going to be the opposite spectrum of this, when we need to get out. So come back for more, listen to the next one, and hear what I have to say about that. So for now, thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.